Welcome to a new episode from English Plus Podcast. Today's episode is stories, and I'm going to read to you a story I wrote, and it's part of my short story collection, The Antichrist. If you would like to read the other stories in the collection, you can find a link in the description that will take you to your favorite online bookstore where you can get the book. Now, that being said, let me tell you that you will find a lot of extra materials and resources on our website, EnglishPlusPodcast.com. The link is in the description. Go to our website and enjoy all the activities and all the information that we have for you. And there's also our premium offering, English Plus Premium. If you decide to become a patron of English Plus on Patreon, you will have access to all our premium episodes, premium courses, including a literature course that all start next week. There's also our premium forum, and there is also something else that is available for all, and that is the AMA section. You can also find the link in the description. That is where you can ask us anything you want. Ask me anything you want, and I will include it in our upcoming Q&A episodes that will start soon. All will be based on the questions you're going to ask. I'm going to mention your name, the person who is going to ask the question. Thank you for your question, and I will answer your question. We generally answer within 48 hours, and there are no bots. We answer you in person. So if you have something in mind you would like to learn more about, just go ahead and ask me anything you want. And now, without further ado, let's start with our story for today, and that is the emergency room. It was getting late, and that night in the emergency room of City Hospital was uneventful. There were a few normal fractures, a man who thought he had a heart attack after a heavy meal, 2 naughty kids that needed stitches, and a teenage was here after a so-called suicide attempt in which she took the right dose of non-lethal pills and let everyone know what she would do in time to save her. So the night was uneventful. I never thought assigning me to head the night shift of the ER was the right decision, not for a doctor of my caliber anyway. I have graduated with honors from Johns Hopkins, and I was the first in my class all my life. I felt I had already lost my touch and knowledge, for I hadn't been using them at all down here. I went to the kitchen to make myself a cup of coffee to help me stand the few hours left in my shift when the miracle I was just asking for happened. I heard an ambulance approaching, and then came the sound of chattering that got louder as the man was brought inside. I didn't want to raise my expectations, so I continued drinking my coffee, acting as if nothing was happening outside. For God knew I was sick and tired of reviving heart attacks and fixing broken bones. My destiny held more exciting things in store. The nurse came rushing into the kitchen and spilled the magic words. A middle-aged man got his arm smashed by a tree and... She kept on talking, but the first part of the problem intoxicated me. Finally, I had real work to do. My specialization stretched all the way from the shoulders to the fingertips. That night was getting hot for me. I would rush out of the kitchen, but somehow my legs found a steadier rhythm, and it felt like a conductor on his way to the stage in a theater full of hungry fans, just waiting to catch the first sign of him to start an overwhelming applause. I made my way through the crowd of the chattering nurses and what seemed to be the man's family, then lay eyes on my masterpiece-to-be. He lay on the emergency table, and I could see straight away that his arm was smashed. This would be a hell of a night for me. I gave orders around, and I was very proud of myself then, because for the first time, it felt like I owned the floor, just like performing a killer dance in a club full of beautiful women. The ambulance worker decided to ruin my night. He thought he might have had the knowledge to tell me what to do, but little did he know the things I had learned about the human arm were more than all his knowledge about everything put together. I ignored the man, and I could see that when he gave up hope of having me listen to what he wanted to say, as if it were of any importance, he talked to the ER nurse. He found someone at his low level to chatter with. I continued my exact procedures and protocols to make sure the man's arm would get the best treatment ever, and I was sure that although it looked like a shipwreck, I could make it sail again in no time. In the middle of my moment I had been longing for, the same nurse chattering with the ambulance worker came close and said, "I think we should." He thought he could tell me what to do, and after being ignored as he should, he sent the nurse to run his own chores. He cannot have an opinion on the case, not on this one. I continued following my procedures and protocols in the same way we would have in the States. And here in my third world country, someone was complaining or thinking he could do it in a better way. I worked on his arm, linking the nerves back, the bones, the muscles, just everything with surgical precision. Oh, I wished my professor had been there to see me. I would have made him so proud. The nurse kept on talking in the background of my symphony, but nothing could interrupt a masterpiece. Little did that poor nurse know of the magnificent work I was doing in that ER in that small-time hospital. I was destined for greater things. I knew it. Then I realized something was wrong. I had done an excellent job so far and linked too many things back as they were, but the man was not bleeding. I turned back to look at the nurse who was raging like a bull. His heart just stopped in the ambulance and he needs CPR. What the are you doing? The nurse had been saying those words for some time, but am I to blame for not listening to her? There was a great host of nurses around me and we all looked at the man, but even I knew it was too late. That was the emergency room. I hope you enjoyed the story. And as I said, this is a part of my short story collection, The Antichrist. If you enjoyed the story, you would like to read more, the link is in the description. You can go to your favorite online bookstore and get the book if you want. And don't forget, there is a lot more on our website, EnglishPlusPodcast.com. And there's also English Plus Premium. Consider it because that will give you access to a lot of things. Premium episodes, premium courses, premium forums, premium a lot of things coming your way if you decide to become a patron of English Plus on Patreon. All the links you need are in the description of the episode. With that being said, this is your host, Danny. I would like to thank you very much for listening to another episode from English Plus. I will see you next time.